I'm honestly, I don't know what's gonna happen in these playoffs, and I just say this to put that out there. But it's like these playoffs really have me confused. Like I have no idea what's gonna happen. But I'm gonna try, to summarize all the events because since now after today we're gonna be 2 games into every series, and I can put like a picture in our head. I do believe Boston is gonna win today. I believe that their home crowd is probably the best home crowd in the league, and there is a big market for Boston winning, especially in their home, especially when Jayson Tatum didn't shoot in the fourth quarter last game, and especially when the whole team is motivated now because Miami beat them, and Miami, honestly, let's face it, they're one of the teams which is not supposed to be winning this much. But I do believe that now this serves room for a question which we have to ask ourselves, which is where do these series go from here? The Nugget series just looks like it's about to get interesting. They went up 2-0. They beat the Lakers in a not in a convincing fashion, but in a definitely a fashion where it makes you wonder what's the ceiling of this Laker team. But in my opinion, the strongest part and the most revealing part about that game is Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic consistently coming up clutch. Even Jamal Murray dropping 23 points in the final quarter, in the fourth quarter, to seal the game, and them giving the ball more to LeBron and AD in the clutch than to the two guys who were having the best games, right, that they've had in a while in Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura, who looked like he couldn't miss. So I believe that with the Lakers series, they're going back home, and we know that the Lakers are tough at home. They have not lost yet, but I do believe that they will go down 3-1. I don't know if they will make the finals. I don't know if LeBron can actually do it. If he keeps playing like he's playing, then they're not going to win, and it's LeBron's fault. I don't care what anybody says. I am a LeBron fan. I personally think that he is closer to Michael Jordan than a lot of people would like to believe. And I do think, and I'm one of those guys who's always advocated for LeBron and always been a LeBron guy, right? Like my second favorite team in the league is the Lakers. Like my first is Miami because that's my team. I'm from Miami. I love Miami. I live, breathe Miami. But my second team is the Lakers, but it's purely because of LeBron. But I do believe that we have to put all of the blame on him. Anthony Davis has been inconsistent this entire playoffs, and if you want to start calling him out now, right, because of it, because they're not winning games, because they're losing this series, then that's unfair to Anthony Davis. As yes, people were slandering him before, but if now you want to bring that up to his face, then it's like, what are we doing? And second, if you want to blame the team, then you can't. Like, yes, D'Lo has been underperforming, but Austin Reeves has been on a tear. Rui Hachimura has been absolutely insane in terms of offense and defense, and guys who play consistent minutes, right, have actually stepped up for them in this series in a way which I did not expect, right? But this leaves the question of what are the Lakers going to do? I do believe that they will win at least one at home. It's going to be hard to beat the Lakers at home. They haven't lost at home in the past month or more, right? Their home crowd is insane. They love playing at home, and they're going to be off the altitude, which is something that I know a lot of teams actually suffer from, as the Nuggets have that home court advantage, right? Which I do believe the league should investigate, because if a team gets an advantage from where they play, then I do believe that that's not fair to the other 29 organizations, especially when you're competing for a championship. But the Lakers are at least going to win one, in my opinion. LeBron's not getting swept, let's face it. Like, he might be playing like he's washed. He might miss a dunk. How does LeBron James miss a dunk, but he's not losing? So I do believe that series will be won by Denver in 6 games, with the Lakers winning 2 at home and then Denver closing them out with both of the games, one at home and one at the Lakers' house. I do believe they will win one, snag one from the Lakers in their own home. But what I do want to say, and this is moving on to the other series, is that are the Celtics going to win, or are the Heat going to win? The Heat had a phenomenal game one, and that is purely, and I mean 100%, a diss towards my team. We had a historical, and completely just out of whack game one. We were holding the Celtics right, like we were playing defense on them. We're keeping them tight, and then they just blew us out until halftime. And then when halftime got there, they were up like 10 points, and then we dropped 45 points in a quarter, right, in the third quarter. And then in the fourth quarter, we hit big shot after big shot after big shot after big shot with barely any misses. Yes, it was a phenomenal game, and I do believe that it made me very happy as a Heat fan to win a game in Boston, because they have a very tough crowd, and us, Miami, we love playing at home. But I do believe that the Celtics are going to win game two. In the end, I have actually Miami winning this series. I just don't know how the Celtics are going to contain Miami this year. The Celtics this year have been too unstable, and I believe that they have a horrible coach. And that's something that I wanted to get into. I don't like Joe Mazzulla. I think he's a bad coach. I think his offensive sets are weird, right? And they normally always end up the same, which is either in a three-point shot in a corner, right? Either by Al Horford, Derek White, Malcolm Brogdon, right? Or they end up in like an extremely contested shot which goes in, or they just end up being horrible. I do believe that his defensive sets are good, but that's only because Boston is good at defending in general. They have 5 guys who can actually defend, and I do believe that he's a trash coach. Of course, it does take some skill to win 50 games, but I think that they have taken the plan of Ime Udoka and learned from that and kept going with that, and that's what made them so good this season. I do not think that Joe Mazzulla can lead this team to a championship as the coach, and I believe that their success has mostly come from Jayson Tatum being a phenomenal player, Jaylen Brown being a phenomenal player, Marcus Smart knowing how to play the right way a lot of the time, and them having been primed in a system by Ime Udoka where they know how to play with each other and what offense works for them. I don't like Joe Mazzulla's offensive sets. I don't like his defensive sets. Right? I believe that his adjustments are horrible, and I do believe that he has a severe problem with matchups, as we've seen in every series so far, where it just seems like he can never put the right guy on the opposing team's star player. And I do believe that if the Celtics keep going with Joe Mazzulla, they're never going to win a championship. I like the Celtics, and I think that maybe they could win one championship with him, like the Celtics did in 08 with Doc Rivers, but I do not like him. Moving on, let's get into like lighter news. Who's gonna win the championship? Like, it's really mixed. I've predicted Denver. I've predicted the Celtics. I've predicted the Lakers. I've predicted a lot of teams, because when you go watching these games, certain teams look good, certain teams have bad games, good games, phenomenal games, yada, yada, yada. But I do believe that it's very interesting this year, as we have 4 teams which could legitimately win it. This is Miami, which, even though a lot of people like to count them out, I do believe that them and the Lakers are in the same tier of team. They are amazing, they can play defense, they are awesome, and they've activated a mode in the playoffs which has just allowed them to win a lot of games. And then second, with Boston and Denver, they're just really complete teams which which have a lot of players, a lot of good players. They have set offensive sets, set defensive sets. And even though, yes, I do not like Joe Mazzulla, I do believe that the championship this year is going to be very interesting. It's going to be something that we're going to probably be looking at in a few years and be like, wow, that was a great season for playoff basketball. I do believe that this season needs to slow down a little bit in terms of, like people are trying to push agendas so fast about this or another thing. I believe that now we're so close to the championship that people need to calm and actually just watch what's going to happen, as we're so close to it that people need to just keep watching. And I do believe that it is incredible what has happened.